Hey there, pizza people. Welcome to the Hot Slice, the weekly podcast of Pizza Today magazine. I'm your host, Jeremy White, editor-in-chief of the aforementioned Pizza Today magazine, the most award-winning B2B magazine in the entire world. Had to throw that in there. I'm joined today by my esteemed executive editor, Denise Greer. What's up, Denise?
Hello, Jeremy. It's a beautiful afternoon.
You know, it is a beautiful afternoon. Yesterday, we're recording in advance. Yesterday was election day. Stayed up way too late watching the results roll in, and we still have no winner right now, which is really kind of par for the course for politics in America right now. We're probably going to fight for many more days before we know anything.
That is true. But luckily, we work in pizza, so we get to at least enjoy the pizza part of the world.
And you know, the one thing we're not going to fight about in America is how important pizza is to this country. It is the go-to food. It is the staple food. It's the party food. It's the election night food. It is the food.
You know, the fun thing about pizza in general is you celebrate with pizza. You look for comfort from pizza. Like every scenario in life has pizza in it.
It does. And that's why we're Pizza Strong. We put that on the cover right during the COVID shutdown, the great quarantine of 2020. We wanted to showcase how strong this industry is. And our guests today are also going to showcase the strength of the pizza industry as well as the strength of their company. We are talking to some folks from Jets Pizza in Michigan who have managed to, through the use of third-party aggregators, through the use of online ordering, through the use of grit and determination, have managed to grow their company during COVID.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, Jets is a great example of a large company being able to grow and thrive during this pandemic. We reached out to, and Jets is one of our top 100 pizza companies. And we reached out to them to say, hey, would you like to submit your pizzeria story? And they came back with a roundtable discussion with their owners. So you're going to hear a roundtable discussion with Jimmy Galloway, John Jets, and Jeff Galloway. And I think the great thing is, you know, they submitted that to us. So it's right there. It's from their perspective and it's from their view. So it's an enlightening discussion straight from them.
It's really good stuff. I say we just get right to it, Denise.
I say we do. Let's roll right into the roundtable discussion with Jets.
Hey everyone, it's Katie, art director at Pizza Today, here to interrupt your podcast with a short commercial break. Figuring out how to do delivery right can be a daunting task, especially when it comes to third-party platforms, in-house delivery, contactless solutions, and POS functionality. Fortunately, the innovators at PDQ have developed the Delivery Toolkit app, a convenient single source that can measurably enhance all aspects of delivery while saving time, effort, and costs. Rooted in metrics, the multi-integrated PDQ Delivery Toolkit is a must-have resource for your store. Learn why at PDQDT.com or call 877-968-6430. That's 877-968-6430. And now, back to the slice.
So guys, I think probably one of our biggest concerns, and we still get it today during this pandemic, is the employee shortages, you know, and that's something that we deal with in a normal business cycle. And now that we threw this pandemic into it, there was a lot of issues with employees not reporting to work because the parents were concerned that they were sick. Are they going to get sick? Nobody knew exactly what this thing was early March. You know, just the fact that, you know, are we spreading the disease within our employee structure? So the employees started backing off. We started getting a lot of franchisees and corporate stores calling us and asking us, like, what do we do? You know, what are you guys doing? And we were able to come up with some ideas of how we made our employees safer, right? And I think a lot of that had to do with just making sure that we were doing the right things in terms of the lobbies and making sure they had the right equipment, the mask and the gloves. And some of the experiences that we had as we got better at it, we began to bring those employees back to us, and it became less of a struggle. I think that was key to our organization to keep the sales going, was obviously to keep the store staffed. I mean, what were your thoughts on that, Johnny and Jeff? I mean, you guys got a lot of feedback from the franchisees.
Well, as this COVID kicked in, and we hired that PR company out of Chicago to, put the ad out there that, we were looking for X amount of bodies for each of the stores, from a management situation to inside help to drivers. I think that was a big plus, because there are people that were out of work for whatever reason. So that did really help us get some employees into the stores till we could get the other ones back in.
Absolutely. And what about you, Jeff? Did you get a lot of franchisees complaining about that part?
A lot of the franchisees were saying that their employees were scared to come to work. So that's why a lot of them were short of help. And some of the store sales were going up.
And they were scared, right? But what did we do? We put out so much notifications to the franchisees to tell them to do all these steps, making sure, getting those temperatures checked, keeping that store sanitized, constantly, to make sure all things were good moving forward. And what a perfect time to kick in the curbside pickup. Jimmy, I'm sorry I jumped into that.
No. That's what we want. Talk about that stuff. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we did. I mean, jump into it.
But it was so good, and what a perfect time where we came out with that curbside pickup, which was such a benefit to all the stores. And it was such a great honor to get from our marketing company, Zimmerman, out in Fort Lauderdale, a quick turnaround on a commercial to get that out there, to let the consumers know in all states we are doing this curbside to make it safer for you, so you don't have to come into our lobby, and it's contactless.
The customers were loving it. We saw it on a lot of our reviews. And the other thing that was big was the franchisees appreciated that we were so proactive in doing what we did then. And Johnny, that was huge. I mean, because that made them feel like, we weren't sitting on our hands, that we were getting things done and trying to figure out, how do we get through this thing? I get a lot of great feedback still today from our franchisees and even our corporate guys that say how impressed they were with how we reacted as a corporation, not only from the advertising side of it, but also from the operations end. What our operations people did to get that information out was huge. And it allowed us to keep those, to keep the sales going too.
Yes, no, that was all good. And then, again, the next step that we took is, as we start marketing, advertising box toppers with the contactless delivery. I mean, how great was that for another customer to feel comfortable, like, wow, I can order a Jets, you can order it through a text or online ordering, again, dropped right off at your door. There's no contact. There's, everything's prepaid online or through the text. And it just made another comfortable moment for the customer, and to want to order from us even more than once a week, which was phenomenal.
And it changed their habits. I mean, they became more focused on the safety part of it. And I think that drove it. I mean, that drove our sales too, that people kept coming back knowing we had that contactless delivery. I mean, some of the other things, Jeff, did you get a lot of feedback on in terms of how people reacted when we closed our lobbies? What did the franchisees say to you?
They said it made their employees feel a little bit safer because they didn't have to interact with the customers, and they could, they were all paid cashless. We went cashless, so we were doing cashless for a while, just all prepaid, and then you just dropped they put the pizza in their car. So customers were happy, and so were the franchisees on that.
Yeah. And I think that was a great idea. I mean, I think that was huge. And, again, it became a habit for customers, and they became very comfortable, and our sales kept growing. And you know what? And we back up a step too, because some of the operation side of it, where Jeff and Jackie and everyone got calls on, and I thought in my head was, man, did we really have a problem with the product shortage? Because we were doing such volume that these trucks that were delivering to us, our orders went from, 20 to as high as 40% more food being delivered to our store. And Johnny, you probably got a lot of heat from our distributors, as to how quick, we had to do a turnaround to get more product to the store so we could keep the stores open because the product was flowing out the front door. And I think we did a great job. I think our vendors did a great job in making sure there weren't shortages. We didn't run out of pepperoni.
No, you're right. And with this whole pandemic, as it hits, across from everybody in the food business, right? So there are a few times, everybody knows, Steve, what we took offline when we couldn't get in certain items. We had to remove it right away because as the pandemic not only hits us and across the states, and and these vendors are being shorted, and now facilities are being shut down. That's making the cuts on our end. As we're hearing, it's getting better in some categories, right? From the meat processing to the dairy side. We just every week wait for these alerts to say, hey guys, we are coming back into a problem with this. And one thing about Jets, we want to use that same product we've used, the premium product since 1978. So we're fighting with these vendors to keep us supplied. And this is becoming like a daily job now from these guys. And, that's what we have to do to get through this. But everybody's dealing with this right now. But the goal is to keep and give that consumer that premium product as we did from 1978.
And that's the key. And those were specific products that we needed to make sure we executed that, Johnny. And that's a good point. I mean, we were fortunate to be aligned with the right, not only the manufacturers, but the distributor who got us the product.
Yes.
Hey everyone, it's Katie, Art Director at Pizza Today, here to interrupt your podcast with a short commercial break. Performance Food Service is proud to deliver high-quality products, innovative technology, and custom operational solutions to restaurants of all sizes across the country. The flagship division of Performance Food Group, with deep roots in the restaurant industry, Performance Food Service has been the exclusive distributor of the Roma family of brands for more than 65 years. This signature relationship has allowed Performance Food Service to become a leader in the pizza and Italian segment of food service nationwide. And now, back to the slides.
Some of the other things I wanted to touch on with you guys too that I thought was interesting is, for a lot of years that we evolved into this digital stuff. We were the old school, paper and pencil, and we slowly evolved from POS systems to digital ordering, online ordering, apps, text messaging ordering. And I think the way we evolved, it was almost like it was perfect timing, because when this hit, hats off to our IT department that drove it and was able to put us in a position where we made it convenient for the customers and the consumers to order our product. Made it a lot easier, and it made it easier for the pandemic side of it because we didn't have to come into the store. We didn't even picking up the phone. You were dealing with the online orderings a lot easier, the text messaging ordering a lot easier, and I think that was, I guess overall what I'm saying is the digital sales side of it played right into our hands, and it allowed us to drive our sales up. It increased ticket prices. We were selling more of everything, really, to be honest. And I think that was a big part of our success. I really do. I think our digital platform allowed us to grab consumers that maybe other competitors couldn't.
Jimmy, I would agree because personally, I tried to order Chinese food in the height of the pandemic, and I wasn't even able to get through the phone line. So us having multiple ways of ordering definitely helped us through this.
Yeah.
And I agree, and when we're talking about this, think about when we really started testing this, right? October, November of 2019 is when we were testing all this text ordering, getting all these platforms ready. We knew what we were doing with our website. We knew when we were going to launch it. And everything played in the right time because of what happened to us when it came about mid-March, when everybody had to go remote. We were already set with the text ordering. We had everything kind of set up, not knowing this was going to happen. But my God, what a big plus for it, because it's such an easy thing. Like you guys said, you couldn't get through on the phones, but you're texting the same phone number as the store's number is now. And it's such an easy thing. And Jets was giving you 20% off the menu price just by you placing that text order. That was a big plus for all the stores.
Amazing.
Yes.
And the consumers love it. And it brought back loyalty for the customers.
Definitely.
And remarketing. So, which is,
Yeah.
going
after those customers after the fact and sending them specials. And, it really helped develop our brand. It really did. And it gave people that would have maybe never tried it before a chance to become a brand loyalist, to really say we love Jets, and we didn't realize how good it was. We seen it in New York, in Buffalo, New York, where we were in the middle of nowhere, and it's amazing how many new customers he grabbed because of the technology platform that was there and enabled us to get those consumers that maybe the competitors, or like you said, Steve, the Chinese restaurant couldn't get because the consumer was frustrated and how they could contact the store and make that order. So I think that was plus all the way around for the digital ordering.
Buffalo, they're big with the third-party aggregators too. So,
and I think that was big too, in terms of even going back to the employee side of it, right? Because we were short on drivers,
right?
We were able to tap into those third-party aggregates, and again, like Johnny said earlier, we were positioning ourselves in 2019 where we were starting to jump on all this stuff, and it kind of came to light just about the time. And now we're full blown on it. And definitely the third party aggregates played a key in being able to get the product to the consumer. And at the same time, help with staffing issues that a lot of these stores were having, which was delivery in some cases. In most cases was delivery. And that was another plus for our growth into getting that product to our consumer. What about talk a little bit about guys, like the feedback you got with the franchisees, Jeff. And Jeff, you start off on it. How did they feel about us as an organization? What kind of feedback did you get over the last, let's say, 6 months, right? I mean, that's when
they got a little excited because we were trying to help them out, trying to locate gloves and masks. We're getting a shortage. And then when they were opening up their lobbies, we were telling them to make sure they put the plastic shields up for safety. So make their employees and customers feel safer.
Yeah.
But yeah, they seemed pretty excited how we, they got the how we were, helping them out get through some of this, bad time.
Same way. We reacted positively in most cases and said, what a great job we did. All of our organizations, not just us as owners, but going to Steve and going down to the guys that were out there in the field, your coaches, Jeff, that went around and help the franchisees when they needed it, and then being able to communicate to our office, whether it was an HR issue, whether it was something to do with operations with Jeff and Jack. I mean, yeah, I had a lot of positive response. Today I still get it about how we were able to still continue the support functions of all the different departments here in our office. And it was amazing. That's hats off to our entire organization.
Definitely. I mean, everybody of Jets of America played a role into this whole thing, and there wasn't a hiccup through this whole pandemic from the beginning. But again, to talk to these franchisees today of what was going on or during the pandemic, and hearing sales that were up like 20 to 25%. Some guys in Tennessee, Florida, Ohio area being up 50% in sales with limited staff and making things happen has, yes, we were getting employees back, but when that PR did the push to go out and get us help or, employees for all the stores, just a great plus and how everything came together. Again, I just want to say hats off to everybody as they work to this, and you always want to thank everybody involved from in the hospital, from doctors to nurses, the police, the fire departments. I mean, come on, everything that they had to do during this. And then to know all of our stores stepped up and were just donating pizzas from fire departments, police stations, taking, nightly runs and daily runs out to the hospitals to give it to all those workers that are not just in the COVID team, the entire hospital is just an awesome thing. And hats off to all of them for what they did.
And that was a positive. I mean, that was a great experience for everyone. And that's truly defines the family. Like we always talk about, this company was based on our family. We're cousins. We've been around forever. Eugene based it on family the same way. And you look at that, it kind of came through from our employees at the corporate level all the way through to the franchisees. And even they said, you know, I truly feel like I'm part of a family. And I think the way we set that example through these tough times, and we continue to do that because we're still in the middle of this pandemic, truly that family philosophy is more than just a philosophy. I feel it was definitely an example of how we handled it, and they're still talking about us, and that goes to the consumers and the customers too. I mean, they're so generous with our employees. I talk about how the drivers are being tipped and how the employees are being tipped. It's because they know that these kids and these managers and these employees are on the front line with this pandemic when we really didn't know what it really was. They were still out there truly putting their lives in danger and still doing it today. And the consumer reacted like a family, like these people are doing it so that I can put food on the table for my kids. I think that is just, that's a commercial right there.
I agree.
And you saw that on social media too, people sharing, different images of this store with people with masks on, shout out to Jets in Fenton or whatever it is. And
yeah, I love all this because at the end of the day, on a huge negative and a huge unknown, we tried to turn it into as many positives as we can. And I think I thought we did a great job all the way across.
One last thing I would touch on is, talking to not only franchisees, but some of our corporate guys, partners and managers, to say, like I remember calling the one night and I said, hey, here's what I want to do for this police station or this fire department. He goes, I want to be honest to you. We had a customer call up and send X amount of party trays to this fire department or X amount of trays over to the police station. Then I'm talking to somebody in an Ohio store and they're telling me the same thing. So hats off to all the loyal customers, all the customers who are doing it, not just with Jets Pizza, but other fast foods that were taking the time out to just go feed all the first responders in that, and how much it meant to them knowing what they were going inside these buildings and what they had to deal with. We were doing something totally different and just praying nobody had the COVID hit them. But look at what they did in there. And to know customers reached out and sent stuff is just an awesome thing. That's part back, Jimmy, what you were talking about, the family. It's like they all did it. They all heard about it and they went out of their hearts and did it themselves. Phenomenal thing.
Awesome.